Morning guys, bit of an impromptu video this morning. Well, yeah, it is still morning. Right, what's happened then? I've had an incident. I thought I'd just share it with you really. Bit of a quick video. Long and the short of it is, without kicking the ass out of the video too much, my winch cable snapped. And not only did it snap, but it wiped me out, clean out. So I'm a little bit better now. When it happened, it dropped me to the floor, like absolutely did me in. Clearly these things happen, so why was I stood in the way? So analyze it. I have a tattoo on my chest that says learn from your mistakes in Latin, and I am all about that. So I am the sort of person that will now sit here and analyze what went wrong, what happened. And there are a few things. So the customer was a guy from Sleaford who was in Norwich. He'd driven through a flood. Here's a picture. He'd driven through a flood, his car was knackered. It was a lovely car. The guy messaged me and he said, could we go and get it this morning, so Saturday morning? And I said, yeah, no problem. So we got up nice and early. He then said, can I come with you? And I was like, well, there's no real need to. Just give me the keys, I'll go and collect your car, I'll bring it back. So there's two reasons why people want to come with you. And one of them is that they don't trust you. And the second reason will be that they want to get involved, they want to watch you, they want to see what you're doing with their pride and joy. I get that. We all love our cars and we want to make sure they're being looked after. That's totally understandable, I get it. So which one was he then? Well, he gets in the car, he gets in the truck in Ronnie, and we head down to Norwich. See all my fighting talkers on the back? So we head down to Norwich, right? It was what it was. When we got there, straight away, I realised that he was a bit of a micromanager. He wanted to get involved, he had the keys, he wanted to hold the keys. It started to annoy me a little bit. It started to get to me, started to wind me up. I kept having to ask him to move out of the way. Please move out of the way, please move out of the way. I need you to be safe, go and stand on the verge, get out of the way, let me deal with it. He kept on at me that he didn't have a towing eye. I was like, I don't use a towing eye, don't worry. How are you gonna do it then? I was like, just watch if you want, but don't worry about it. Like, it's not your problem to worry about, it's mine. Anyway, he was getting under my skin, he was getting on my nerves, and it distracted me. That's not like me, is it? So he distracted me. We then get to his house, and I am dropping it off. I drop the car off. I am then, so imagine his car was like where that Z4 is, right? So we've dropped it off in the parking space that he wanted it. I have then hooked my winch line, as I do all the time. I've hooked it onto here, which is now distorted and bent. It's all broken, that's gonna need to be replaced. I've hooked the winch line onto there. I've wound it in a little bit to take up the slack. I've then switched the remote off and I've gone to just finish up with the car, put the car to bed effectively. Whilst I was sitting in his car, I heard a bang. And I assume that bang was this distorting. I've then gone, something's not right. I've jumped out of the car, realized that the winch was still spooling. So the winch has kind of malfunctioned. So on this truck, I've got the remote, obviously. I've got the Lodar remote, the Winch Max Lodar, but it's also got this hydraulic lever. And basically, when I press the button on my winch remote, that hydraulic lever moves, okay? Following me so far. That lever there had not centralized. So it was ever so slightly not in the center, and I don't know why, I have no idea why. But ultimately, the winch was still spooling very, very slowly. It was just in a constant state of creeping in. So that's called winch creep. So it was creeping. I didn't notice because it was so slow. However, what's then happened is, as I've realized it's doing it, I've seen the distortion as I've got out of the guy's car. I've come running towards it, and as I've got to about here to grab the remote, the winch cable's just snapped and it has done me. So it dropped me to the floor, it wiped me off my feet. So it's taken the skin off my thumb, which isn't too bad, a little scratch. But the big thing is, the force of it hit my arm, which has got, I'll show you in a sec. And the rest of it hit me in the nuts. So dropped me to the floor. Whilst I was on the floor, it hit me so hard, I didn't actually want to look at my arm. I thought my arm had come off. It hit me so hard. We learn from it, I'll move on, move forward. Long and short of it is, I made two mistakes. First thing is, I was distracted. I was distracted by the customer. I allowed him to come with me. I allowed him to get into my head. But the second thing was I then didn't notice that the winch was creeping, and I should have noticed that. It's done it to me maybe 2 times before. Now, if you think I've probably done 1,000 jobs in this truck, I know it. I know how it works. and I would normally make sure everything was switched off and reset, and I just didn't. I got distracted. I was pissed. I just wanted to get away, if I'm totally honest. I'll show you my arm. I don't think it'll look too bad at the minute, but I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? So that's where the winch line, you can see the outline of the winch line there. That's where it's hit me. Clearly, I'm not going to show you the other place it hit me, and I haven't checked that yet. Needless to say, it hurt. So, bit of an eye-opener for me. It's easy to get complacent when you do this job. You know, when we're doing like big winch jobs where I'm pulling big Mercedes Sprinters and stuff out of fields and up ditches and out of embankments and rolled over stuff, you think that a simple winch on, winch off is going to be no problem. And that's where you get complacent. That's where I got complacent. I just switched off for 2 seconds. And it's bitten me. But you know what? The positives are, it wasn't a steel cable, because if that was a steel cable, that would have taken my arm off without a doubt, or cut me in half. I'd have probably been dead. It didn't hit me in the face, which is good, because I probably would have lost an eye. And the third and the biggest thing is, it didn't hit the customer. So I'm pleased about that. I'm pleased that if it's going to hit anyone, hit me, not a customer. But you'll see now why in my videos, I'm always saying to people, can you step back? Please step out of the way, working out where that winch line's going to go if it snaps, because they do. So the frustrating thing for me is, I only replaced that 3 weeks ago. So that was pretty much a brand new line, brand new hook. It's only probably had 20 cars on it. It is what it is though, or it isn't what it isn't. We're not dead. That's the main thing, isn't it? Bit of a serious video, I suppose, for a change, but we are a serious company, you know, sometimes. I'm an idiot when you're just a bad influence. It's you. You're a bad influence on me. Guys, stay safe out there. Watch your winch lines. I know you do anyway. Everyone's, you know, good, but I just mean, like, it's so easy to get complacent with the winch lines, and there we go. I'll learn from it. I certainly won't allow myself to get distracted again. You know, if anyone wants to just come along because they don't trust me, well, they can go along with somebody else. I'm not bothered. Right, from me and Ronnie, thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep.